good time here on the channel picking on social justice warriors. Every morning I'll wake up and I'm on the lookout for something insanely stupid that a member from Woke United Methodist has said or done. We poke fun at Stephen A. Smith. We make fun of Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, Shay Shay, Meg Rapinoe, the ladies of the NWSL, the WNBA, Draymond Green, Colin Kaepernick. Hell, the list is so long I could sit here for an hour and still not finish naming all the woke U graduates that we've gone after. I don't care about your race, I don't care about your gender, or even if you identify with a gender. If I go out to my shed, my shovel has been replaced with a woke shovel, I'm going to make fun of it too. We are equal opportunity here on the channel. Race, gender do not matter. If you proudly claim your membership to Woke United Methodist, we will come after you. Now that being said, there are certain occasions where I find myself coming to the defense of a woke identifier. Just last week, we came to the defense of Skip Bayless and his catfight with his brother in woke Stephen A. Smith. I've defended Stephen A. Smith on numerous occasions. I don't mind defending or agreeing with these people when they're right. Just because we differ politically doesn't mean there's not some semblance of common ground. The overwhelming majority of the people that we have fun with here on the channel, they're not bad people. I don't think Shannon Sharp's a bad dude. I can respect the media careers of Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. Colin Kaepernick, I don't think Colin Kaepernick's evil. He's just allowed himself to be used. You see, most of these people, they're just pawns. They're just mouthpieces. They sold their souls. They allowed their platforms to be used to promote a twisted agenda, all for money. At the end of the day, that's all that is about to them. That's all they care about, money. You think Colin Kaepernick really gives a shit about social justice? You think Colin Kaepernick really cares about Black Lives Matter? No, he saw his NFL career was coming to an end. He found another way to make millions of dollars. For years, the black community hated Stephen A. Smith. They accused him of being an Uncle Tom. He always sides with the white man. He doesn't care about the brothers. Hell, in 2016, Stephen A., he was telling black people to vote Republican in the presidential election. All of a sudden, ESPN starts waving $12 million in his face. He becomes the world's highest paid parrot. Like I said, I don't mind defending these types of social justice warriors when it's warranted. I like to call them pawns, but there are a handful of people that I will never defend, I will never agree with. These are the vile, the disgusting, the hate-filled, evil motherfuckers. I struggle to even call them Americans. In all honesty, they're traitors to the country. Keith Olbermann, he's near the top of the list. His mentality and demeanor, it's what happens to men when they live 60 years and never touch a woman. Keith Olbermann lives in a constant state of sexual frustration. But ranking number one on the list of the most evil members of Woke United Methodist, this woman's so evil, she scares angels back to heaven. This woman's the definition of vile. In the 3 years I've been doing this, in 3 years, I don't think I've ever accused someone of being a racist. For one, I think the word's overused. It's lost all meaning. But I can't think of a better adjective, a better way to describe Joy Reid besides the word racist. Joy Reid is the most disgusting person on television. Over the weekend, I received an email from one of the viewers. His name's Raheem. He's been following the channel I think since last summer. That's when he started contacting me on a regular basis anyway. He told me that Joy Reid, MSNBC, they were airing a Father's Day special Sunday night. Now, when I heard about it, my first thought was, they're going to talk about black fathers. They're going to highlight examples of strong black fathers. I mean, black men are constantly shit on by the culture and especially the media. Well over 70% of black children grow up without a father. So I figured, maybe Joy Reid is finally doing something positive. Maybe she is finally using her platform to put something good back into the world. Imagine my surprise when the title of this special was "The Culture is Black Women." Could you not have aired this bullshit on Mother's Day? There are 365 days in the year. We set aside one day to honor fatherhood. We set aside 30 fucking days to promote the butt bongo. We set aside 30 days to honor men who chop off their manhood to become women. We have one day set aside for dad, and you choose that day to promote some propaganda bullshit about black women being the culture? Joy Reid and the rest of the mainstream media, they like to promote the false narrative that the biggest threat to black men in America is the evil white man, evil white cops, evil white NFL owners, evil white bosses in corporate America who won't hire you because you're black. It's all bullshit. You know who's the real threat to black men in America? Notice I didn't say the biggest threat, but a real threat to black men, it's black women. When the Me Too movement first started, it mainly went after powerful white men, mainly Harvey Weinstein. But the last couple of years, the movement shifted to going after black men. Guess who started the Me Too movement? Tarana Burke, a black woman. After the bullshit with Harvey Weinstein died down, guess who the movement began to go after? Marshall Faulk, Deshaun Watson, Russell Simmons. Black Lives Matter, started by two black women. When the group started, you know what one of their top priorities was? The destruction of the nuclear family. We don't need no black man to raise a child. This community of black women can raise this child. According to an NIH study, 70% of black women are unmarried. I wonder why. Anyway, rambling off topic. Joy Reid, she decides to air a special about black women on Father's Day. Now, I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch it. I didn't need to watch it. I already knew it was nothing but propaganda and bullshit. When I saw this clip from the show featuring Maria Taylor, it told me all I needed to know about it. See if you can spot the bullshit. Roll the film.
But the thing that keeps coming to my mind is like, I just wish that there was a world in which, you know, everything that a black woman did, someone wasn't coming to dim that light or blow it out. Like, I wish that there was someone there fanning our flames. And obviously we have our culture and we have people and friends and grandmas and moms that do that. But the things that we have to battle through sometimes, it's like trying to hold your little candle against like the winds of the ocean. And I felt that way sometimes coming up in sports because, like you said, it's very white male dominated. A lot of times they simply don't want you there. And I've been on both sides of it where I've worked really hard to get to, you know, the NBA finals, and I've had a white woman raise her hand and say, you only got the job because you're black. I've had my company stand behind that thought and then tell me that I am not being professional because I am refusing to work with her.
First of all, I happen to partially agree here with Maria Taylor. Black women, they do have their light dimmed if they're conservative black women. Sage Steele, she's not allowed to speak at ESPN. Anytime she says something, they yank her ass off the air. Candace Owens is treated like a pariah by the woke media. Stacey Dash, she's another one. They have their lights dimmed by the media. But the rest of us, we treat these black women with respect, with dignity. We dim the light of shit fucks like Joy Reid because she represents nothing but darkness. But let's get back to the bullshit. Did you catch the outright lies and propaganda from Maria Taylor? Sports is very white male dominated. You worked at fucking ESPN, the network also known as Black Entertainment Television. Watch NBA coverage on ESPN. Take a drink every time you see a white person. It will cure your alcoholism. Watch woke tape. Take a shot every time you see a white person. Same goes with Around the Horn. Poor Woody Page. They should make a movie about Woody Page. They can call it Last White Man Standing. The biggest bullshit though, Maria Taylor, once again, painting herself as the victim in the Rachel Nichols saga. This is outright propaganda. Now, I don't discredit the work of Maria Taylor. I don't deny that she worked hard to get her start in the media. But the reason that she's where she is today is because she leaked those Rachel Nichols tapes during a time of heightened racial sensitivity and painted herself as the victim. Maria Taylor, she was largely unknown before all that happened. Rachel Nichols was a household name, at least in NBA circles. Rachel Nichols was the real victim. But as you guys know, you can't be a victim if you're white. You took advantage of your white privilege to get there. As expected, Ratings for this Joy Reid special were disastrous. There was nothing special about the ratings. Less than 300,000 people tuned in to watch propaganda about black women on Father's Day. Now, this should come as no surprise. Joy Reid, her ratings have been tanking all year. Back in April, her show broke records for the least viewed month in its history. She averaged 1.1 million viewers. In the 25 to 54 demographic, the key demo for advertisers, Joy Reid averaged 124,000. That's the lowest number for MSNBC in prime time since July of 2015. Ratings for Joy Reid, they're down 31% since last year, down 51% since she premiered in July 2020. The only reason that this evil woman was given a primetime show on MSNBC was due to diversity. We need a black woman in prime time to spew racial white hatred. Joy Reid did not earn this spot. It was gifted to her based on her skin color and her gender, one of the many recipients of woke welfare. There were actually rumors MSNBC was going to cancel Joy Reid this spring. What in the hell happened to that? If I had to guess, MSNBC is afraid to fire Joy Reid because they don't want to be labeled as a misogynist or a racist. There is absolutely no reason to keep Joy Reid on the air, especially in prime time during the week. She has proven she doesn't have the ability to draw an audience. I wonder why. I wonder why people refuse to watch joyless Joy Reid. I wonder if this has anything to do with it.
I don't know the details of what happened beforehand, but I am bothered that no one is asking what could have scared a 16-year-old girl enough that she felt she had to grab a kitchen knife facing two adult women, right? People are just, no one's asking what would have scared a kid who's in a foster situation so much that she felt that she needed to defend herself or pick up a knife. Like, no one's asking that about her. They're just saying people with this sort of concern trolling, pretending they care so much about those other two women. And Brittany pointed that on social media last night. Do we really think these people are so concerned about those other two black women? White Americans aren't afraid of the cops. White Americans are never afraid of the cops, even when they're committing insurrection, even when they're engaged in attempting to occupy our capital, to steal the votes of people who look like me. Because in their minds, they own this country, they own that capital, they own the cops work for them, and people like me have no damn right to try to elect a president. Because we don't get to pick the president, they get to pick the president. They own the president, they own the White House, they own this country. And so when you think you own it, you own the place, you ain't afraid of the police because the police are you, and the police reflect back to them. We're with you. You're good. We're not going to hurt you because you're not them. Guarantee you if that was a Black Lives Matter protest in D.C., there would already be people shackled, arrested, or dead.
When leaders, let's say in the Muslim world, talk a lot of violent talk, and encourage their supporters to be willing to commit violence, including on their own bodies, in order to win against whoever they decide is the enemy. We in the U.S. media describe that as they are radicalizing those people, particularly when they're radicalizing young people. That's how we talk about the way Muslims act. When you see what Donald Trump is doing, is that any different from what we describe as radicalizing people?
What Rush used to do was, his shows were on all these little rural stations all over the country. And he was constantly feeding that very white, largely rural audience constant nervousness, constant a sense that you're being besieged, that black people are coming for you, the brown people are coming for you, the immigrants are coming for you. But the way this story has captivated the nation has many wondering, why not the same media attention when people of color go missing? Well, the answer actually has a name. Missing white woman syndrome, the term coined by the late and great Gwen Ifill to describe the media and public fascination with missing white women like Lacey Peterson or Natalie Holloway, while ignoring cases involving missing people of color. Now, what we're seeing in Ukraine is absolutely the worst humanitarian crisis that Europe has seen in decades. But we haven't witnessed the same type of solidarity for the Yemenis as we do for the Ukrainians. Okay, let's face it. The world is paying attention because this is happening in Europe. If this was happening anywhere else, would we see the same outpouring of support and compassion? But we don't need to ask ourselves if the international response would be the same if Russia unleashed their horror on a country that wasn't white and largely Christian. Because Russia has already done it in Syria.
Don't you want to come home every day from a hard day at work and be bombarded with that racial negativity? This woman is evil. This woman promotes nothing but hatred and vitriol. She profits off the victimization of her own community. Is it any wonder why less than 300,000 people watched her bullshit special Sunday night? But let me know what you think. How does this evil woman still have a show in prime time on MSNBC? Give me your thoughts on Joy Reid. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.